What is up? Today we're gonna look at the Amaran Spotlight SE. It'll be another tool in our box here at the studio. We have a lot of modifiers for these Amaran lights. They're very useful, very powerful for the price. You know, we have a lot of the different Bowens mount Fresnel lenses or the soft boxes, but this is gonna give you that really sharp edge and something that can cut, and they have all these neat shapes. So let's open this thing up, pull it out of the box and see what it comes with.
Here it is in box. We're just gonna open her up and take a look at this thing. Wow.
We have a winner.
It's tiny. Little baby lens. Nice action. It's okay. Put a little color in it. A little cookie. A little shape, if you wanted, if you will. I'll give you a shape. What do you got?
I think they have a whole kit.
Whoa.
So this thing is coming in at about $335 right now. Online is what we're seeing. We got a Black Friday deal on it, so it was sub 300. It was 200 something, closer to 300. And the kind of comparable aperture product is their aperture Spotlight. That's about $430-ish, 420, something like that. And the big difference is kind of how it's mounted. This one goes right into a Bowens mount, whereas that one actually has a yoke, goes on the stand, and then you put the light into it. It's just a bigger unit. Maybe we'll get that one and check it out and kind of compare and contrast them. But this one was good, budget friendly, and just kind of a lower profile, which I'm into. You can focus this unit. So once you get your cookie in there, you can focus and make that sharper or harder. Same with without one in there, you're just softening and hardening the edge of the circle. And then you have 4 cutters, top, bottom, left, right. So really powerful for getting light in places. If you need to shoot light from a different area and bounce light around, that's useful for that, and you're not gonna get spill all over everything. It's gonna be very directed with that lens. And we found already a really great use of just making shapes, and when you have haze, to put beams and shafts of light in places to just give you a more interesting background or kind of vibe. What's really awesome is included at the kit is a ton of looks for your cookies. You've got like raindrops, like a lightning, like a pattern of like lines, chain link fence, water or fire or something, triangular fire, you know, you get the point. A great, I call this one the Star Wars look. It's kind of like the Star Wars lights. Another like pattern leaves, which is kind of neat. Just some dot matrix kind of thing, and then like windows, which is kind of sick because you could kind of just put windows around. And the way these go in is there's this little carrier tray. This is one of my favorites with the dots. And you just put these little discs inside of this tray, and you can kind of pick your angle of which way, how you want it to project from that point, you know, from here. Then you just put that right back in the slot, and now you've changed your shape. In this same section, what you have are the cutters, and they just work by pushing them in and pulling them out. You can kind of change, you can even change their angle a little bit. But it's just like any other cutter, like on a Leco attachment. So you can play with that, and it is down is up is down, and left is right, and right is left. So it's a little confusing, but you gotta think about this as like a lens, just like a camera lens, where it's actually inverting your image as it comes out. Other than that, it basically just has this red knob that you loosen to change the focus, and that can just let you sharpen or soften the edges, you know, or if you're trying to place, you know, a line across something and you want it nice and sharp across your subject or your background, it'll allow you to do that. So this comes with a at least the one we got came with a 36-degree lens. You can change the lenses. They sell the lenses for about $100. Basically just loosen that red dial a little ways out, twist it, and there's these little keyways that allow the lens to actually come out. So you can change your lens for how tight or wide you want to be with it, which is pretty neat. And you can have a couple different sizes depending on what you want to do with it. So, but the 36 is good overall, and we'll kind of show a couple examples of what that looks like. It goes on just like any other Bowens. Just click it right in. But quality design, it's actually a metal. It's like a cast. So it feels really, really quality. It's very small in size, which I kind of into. I don't need like this huge thing for what we're trying to do with it. A lot of times it's little elements on the background or little pushes through some haze or something like that. So pretty neat, great value. All right, so let's get a little more hands-on with this thing and see what this light can do. All right, so for a little demo, we've got no cookie in right now. So you can see what that 36 degrees looks like on our cyc wall here. If you loosen, you can soften that edge. You know, you can go beyond. It makes a little ring on the edge, that's neat. But you can also just make that a really sharp edge by making that in focus. You got cutters, so we can go from the top cutter by coming from the bottom. You can cut that up. You can make angles. You know, you're a bit limited, but it works. So you could really tighten this whole thing up if you wanted to. If you really wanted just like a small little square, you could do that if you were smart. So look at that. I mean, that's crazy tight. So that's what you can do with the cutters. It's pretty neat. You know, where I've seen a lot of like Lecos and stuff used on set is like if you have a kind of smaller room and you want to put a key or a fill on the other side of the room, you can put a bounce over there, which doesn't take up any room at all, and bounce the light from somewhere else with this. And as long as this its path is not crossed by anything, you could light a 4x4 reflector across the room, just like that. You fill that 4x4 square up, and it's a bounce for the room. So that's like a practical lighting use of it. You know, you could also use it to fill any frame if you're trying to, you know, use it as a key or a fill light. But what's neat is you've got the shapes. So I'm gonna take the shape and set it straight up and down, put it right in there, and immediately we can see we need to focus that. And there you go, you got some pretty sharp lines. Ooh.
Yeah, I noticed it like,
it shifts.
When you tighten it, it shifts a tiny bit.
So for tightening the lens, it is notched throughout. So what I have found is if you want to make it super duper sharp and you have it loose, and now that's super sharp, and you tighten it up, sometimes it will shift a little bit and kind of shift your focus. So that's kind of a negative thing, but you might be able to compensate by walking in or out just a little bit if you can, you know, sacrifice the shaping of it. But you know, if I wanted to, I could cut these shapes to be only on the upper half of the wall. Let's say these ones on the outskirts were a little too much for me. I can just cut it up and make it kind of a smaller deal, which is pretty neat. You know, you can make these softer too if you're just trying to put a little shape. Even just like something like that gives you some shape in the background of something. It could look like a reflection, or you could bounce it off of something to give it a reflection. There's kind of a lot you can do with it. But for now, let's just look through a couple more shapes. I'll go through some of my favorites. This is my most used so far. We've probably used it on like 4 shoots. I think this one's come out every time. This one's really sweet. And what I've used it for is not actually even being in the shot. We'll just have haze, and each one of those dots becomes a shaft of light. All right, so we're gonna haze it up a little bit and just check this one out. It's my favorite one for that use. You can see those, right?
Yeah.
So this is my favorite thing for it so far, is these shafts of light. You kind of get all these different pieces in the haze, which is kind of nice. Gives you maybe like a concert look, something like that. Let's see another shape through that. I haven't seen the chain link fence yet.
I haven't even seen the window yet.
I haven't either. Let's see the chain link fence in the window.
Here's chain link fence. Ooh. Now that's pretty cool. Pretty like big, you know? There's a chain link fence. We really want to see the window.
Too fucking bad.
In Star Wars, let's see. I want to know if you can get just one frame. You know what I mean? Like cut it to be one window frame.
That's pretty neat. Oh yeah. Look at that. You can put one window frame anywhere you want. Now this is one you'd wish you had a little wider lens for to spread that out. But if you had a couple windows down an edge, that would work perfectly. You could use that to cast down a ways. You see those? It's kind of neat where you get the elongating of them. So those are pretty cool. I like that you can cut this down to be one window frame. So you could even shoot that through a window onto the wall or the ground and just give it that window look, which is pretty sick. That's really cool. Use it for like a process. All right, I want to see Star Wars and then I'm pretty happy. I think I saw the leaf today.
I saw the bongos today.
Bingo, bango, bongo, I wanna put it on a bongo.
Now that's pretty cool. It's actually bricks is what it is, because they're a little less perfect. It's bricks. Brick wall. Cheese out brick. Wow. Letting it all hang out. Stanley brick house. Look at that. It's pretty neat. Wow. So yeah, super powerful, super fun. You can get very creative with this thing. There's a lot it can do. And we're excited to just use it. It's another tool in the toolbox. And every shoot we've done so far, we've used it, at least where we had some creative sort of aspect to it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, throw it in the comment section below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.